প্রিয় দর্শক, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। কোরভিশন ফাউন্ডেশনের আয়োজন ভিশন ফর সাকসেসে স্বাগতম। দর্শক, জীবনের প্রতিটি ক্ষেত্রে আমরা সবাই চাই সফলতা, কিন্তু সফলতার সংজ্ঞা কি? এর মাপকাঠি কি? নাম, সম্পদ, ক্ষমতার নাম কি সফলতা? সফলতার কোনো শর্টকাট পথ আছে কি? এসব প্রশ্নের উত্তর খুঁজতেই কোরভিশন ফাউন্ডেশনের উদ্যোক্তা উন্নয়ন কার্যক্রম ভিশন ফর সাকসেস। আমাদের আজকের আলোচনা, হাউ ইসলাম ভিউজ নন মুসলিম। আসুন কোরআন ও সুন্নাহর আলোকে জেনে নিই। Our speaker today, Imam Shamsi Ali. Brother, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
So how are you?
Alhamdulillah.
So today's topic is how Islam views non-Muslim.
Yeah, I think this is very crucial. Especially we're living in a world that the barrier between people are becoming minimized, becoming small. You know, looks like between Muslim house and non-Muslim house looks like just one home. We are living together because of the open media, open society, open information. And so basically almost there is no barrier between people. Of course, I'm talking about social life in particular, not necessarily religious, because religion is something in your heart and it is very much private and personal. But when you come to the life in general, Muslims and non-Muslims looks like have blended one another. You know, my life had become the life of Christians and Jews and Hindus and Buddhists because their concern is my concern. It's about education, it's about poverty, it's about peace, it's about unity, it's about partnership, it's about how to develop the world, how to build civilization. We may have different opinions on issues, but we have this common ground. And our common ground is to build this world better for everyone to live his or her life. And so it is very important to understand how to connect ourselves to our non-Muslim friends. No matter who they are our friends. I think we have to begin by emphasizing, underline again, that Islam acknowledges the unity of human family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakar wa untha. And in another ayah, Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nas, ittaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida. O mankind, fear your Lord, the one who created you from a single soul. So it means we came from the same father, Adam, alayhi salatu wasalam. And then the ayah that I recited earlier, O mankind, we created you from a male and a female, from Adam and Eve. It means we have the same father and mother. So no matter who we are at the moment, what we believe in, what color that we have, what kind of food do you eat, what culture that we follow, what kind of dress that we take on, all these are a part of diversity that Islam respects very, very highly. But the point is that fundamentally we are united. We have united family, and that is from Adam and Hawa alayhi salatu wasalam. And so coming back to how Islam views non-Muslims. Number one, we do believe, of course, and we have the right to believe as others have the right to believe in the same way. We do believe that Islam is the true religion of Allah. Inna dina inda Allah al-Islam. And of course, because of this belief, and we have passion about it, we love it, and we want to pursue it, we want to make it stronger, we want others to follow us. And that's why we have the responsibility in Islam to conveying the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to show what Islam is all about, and hope that they will accept it. But again, the Holy Quran is very clear. Even though you have the responsibility to convey the message of Allah, it doesn't mean you have the right to force anybody to follow your faith. Even Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, being as the prophet and the messenger of Allah, he was reminded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying, "Ma alayka illa al-balagh." Your responsibility is just to tell, just to show, just to convey, no more than that. You cannot force, you don't have any authority on them to make them believing in what you believe. That's what the Holy Quran says. And so because of that passion, because of that belief, because of the truth that we feel that we have, we want everybody else to follow. But again, we must also understand that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created every human being, there are 4 things that we have to understand. Number one, that every human being, no matter what he or she believes at this time, he or she is pure. This is called fitra. in Arabic language. Rasulullah ﷺ said, "Kullu mawludin yuladu al-fitra." Each child was born in the state of purity. Means Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, the inner side of his life, there is a purity that is being preserved. So when you see these people walking on the street, you have to see them as the representation of the purity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the purity of God. To be honest with you, in the language of Christians and Jews, this is what they call the image of God. They used to say everyone is created on the image of God. And we Muslims say everyone is created on the purity of God. So it's almost the same concept, okay? This is number one. Secondly, when you see any human being, see him or her as being dignified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says in the Holy Quran, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Indeed, we have dignified children of Adam. So whenever you see anybody, no matter how social circumstances he or she is in, political affiliation, economic situation, social status, see him or her as being with dignity and respect. He or she deserves respect. Why? Because Allah make them respected. Allah make them dignified. And that's why karamat to everyone, dignity must be given fully to everybody. You cannot just see non-Muslims less than you simply because they are Christians. No. They are dignified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Number three, you have to see them as a free agent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, He told the angel, إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. I am creating a Khalifa. And that is vicegerent, representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So every human being, it's not, He doesn't say, إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ مُسْلِمًا. I don't create Muslims, but إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. And so every human being must be seen as a representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And hence, he or she is a free agent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has freedom. So you cannot simply underestimate the freedom of our non-Muslim friends to choose anything that they want in life, as long as it doesn't bother anybody. Let's say our Christian friend. When he or she lives within the Muslim majority, give him or her freedom to practice his Christianity. Do you know why? Prophet Mohammed said to the Muslim man that if you marry any Muslim Christian lady and she wanted to go to the church, bring her to the church. That is your responsibility as the husband. That is the guarantee of Rasulullah sallallahu. Even there is even more than that. Rasulullah sallallahu says, "Man adha dhimmiyan fa ana khasmuhu yawm al-qiyamah." Whoever insults, whoever disrespect non-Muslim dhimmi within a Muslim community, I will be his enemy in the day of judgment. So you see how non-Muslims are being respected in the religion. And that's why it is very sad to see that some Muslims are hating others simply because they are non-Muslims. It is not the reason to hate anybody. In fact, Rasulullah ﷺ worked together with even Christians and Jews, and even with the pagans in Medina. He was the Prophet of Allah. His mission is to call them to Islam. But you know what? If they rejected it, Rasulullah ﷺ said, that's fine, but let's work together. Let's work together.
And in a Muslim country, this is all our neighbors, our community, our friends are Muslim. Majority
Yes.
are Muslims. But in a non-Muslim country like US, so there is the Muslim are minority. Most of our neighbors like in an apartment building, we live a lot of
Sure.
non-Muslims. So if we don't have a good relation with them, it's a question of our existence.
Absolutely. It gives a very bad image about Islam. You know, Muslims must be da'i. You know, you have to understand that we are responsible to show and convey the message of Allah. But if you don't act upon the teaching of Islam, how are you going to convey the message of Allah? If every day you don't even say hello to your neighbors, they don't see any cheerful face, you know, that is simply wrong. And so, but even more than that, not only that we have to be nice and kind to them, the Holy Quran says, لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ أَن تَبَرُّهُمْ وَتُقْسِطُوا إِلَيْهِمْ. There is no problem for you to be nice, to be kind, and to be just to them. Not only that, even more than that, you know, I think Muslims must learn something good from non-Muslim friends. You know, in social life, there are many things from our non-Muslim friends that we can learn.
They're following the.
I have learned a lot about the practices of Islam.
Yes.
I didn't learn Islam, but I did learn how they practice Islam. You know, I give you one example. When I came to this country, and I mention this story a lot everywhere I had an opportunity to speak, I rented a house here in Astoria, Queens. And my neighbor was an Irish, happened to be a Catholic. They are elder citizens, they are senior citizens, 70 years old, and with his wife. So when I came, I rented the house, and every morning he got out from his house, he cleaned the driveway, his driveway, and our driveway too. So in the beginning, we never met a non-Muslim in my life before. I was developing suspicion, what he wanted to do. Maybe he wanted to show me his Christianity so that he wanted to convert me. But you know what? Months, years, he never talked about the religion. In fact, he was asking me about my religion. Why your wife cover? So we exchange. So, but secretly, what I learned from him, I learned how to be a better Muslim.
Yes.
Why? Because that's what Islam is all about.
We'll take a short break. Dear viewers, we'll take a short break. Stay with us. Dear viewers, welcome back. You are watching Vision for Success. Here with us, Imam Shamsi. We are talking Islamic views on non-Muslims. So, yes, we are talking about that. We are learning from the non-Muslim,
Yes.
the Islamic behaviors, manners, and they are practicing.
Yes, and that's basically what the Quran says. The Holy Quran says, Ya ayuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakar wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila li ta'arafu. The word ta'aruf, knowing one another, is mutuality. If you want the non-Muslim friends to know you, try to learn about them. If you want the non-Muslim to respect you, respect them. If you want them to love you, try to love them. This is about mutual compassion, mutual understanding. So I think the Holy Quran justifies that we can learn from something from our non-Muslim friends, how to be disciplined, how to build hard work and attitude, how to behave. American people are so friendly. Then when you meet on the street, they will say hello. They will smile to you. Of course, there are some exceptions. Who doesn't like immigrant? But in general, American people are so friendly, and we learn that this is what Islam is all about. Because Islam wants us to be smiling. Islam wants us to be humble. Islam wants us to be friend with everybody. That's what Islam is all about. When we say the American character, behavior, we say, well, this is what Islamic behavior is all about. So coming back to the story of that person, I realized when I saw him doing good things for me, and he never talked about religion, I realized that basically he taught me how to be a better Muslim. And then I came to a conclusion that Islam is not only what you do in the masjid, but not only in the month of Ramadan or in Masjid al-Haram in Medina, but more importantly, Islam is what you do in daily life. How to deal with your family, with your friends, Muslims and non-Muslims alike. This is what Islam is all about. So coming back again to how Islam views non-Muslims is very, very positive. And of course, there are some non-Muslims who are being criticized by the Holy Quran. But they are criticized because of the bad attitude. And of course, the criticism of Quran towards Jews and Christians in the Holy Quran is not only towards Jews and Christians, but towards me also. Because if I have the same behavior, the Holy Quran will criticize me also. For example, the Jewish people, it is not allowed for them to do activities on Saturday, but they are tricking something in the teaching. They are doing some tricks so that they can still do something on Saturday. So it means the Holy Quran consider them not serious in the religion. The Holy Quran criticizes our Christian friends who consider Jesus as Lord. And of course, Islam has the right to criticize that because we do believe in a very pure concept of monotheism. But if I do believe in the same thing, I do believe in money as Lord, of course, I am a part of that criticism. So we don't have to focus on some people in terms of criticism. The issue of Quran being critical towards Jews and Christians is about a reminder for me not to fall into the same trap, not to fall into the same behavior. And so I take it for myself more than just criticizing others. In the Holy Quran, for example, the Holy Quran talks very highly about Bani Israel, children of Israelite. And when we talk about Israel in the Holy Quran, it's not a state. It's about a prophet, and that is Yaqub. So Jacob, Yaqub, is the other name of Israel. It means servants of God. In Arabic, it's called Abdullah, same meaning. So Allah says in the Holy Quran, Ya Bani Israel, or children of Israel, Inni faddaltukum ala al-alamin. We have made you privileged over any other human beings. It means the Holy Quran acknowledged that the Bani Israel in the past used to have this high rank. Why they have the high rank in the sight of Allah, high privilege in the sight of Allah, because they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have prophets among themselves. They believe in the Torah. They try to practice the religion. So the Holy Quran, basically respect them very highly. But when they are violating the teaching, then the Holy Quran criticizes it. So criticism is not towards a particular people. Criticism towards the behavior of certain people. And that is their violation of the faith, violation of the law. They don't follow the Prophet. That's what the Holy Quran criticizes.
So this is our fasting month. Like we are offering iftar, breaking of fast to the person who is fasting, but we are not engaging. We are not inviting our non-Muslim friends. What is your views about?
Of course, that is. I don't say it is wrong, but it is very limited way of doing our Ramadan. Particularly Muslims living in the majority non-Muslim society, breaking fast is a good opportunity to invite our neighbors to come and share the sweetness of Ramadan. Because breaking the fast is a celebration of completion of the day, but also it is celebrating our collective life. That's why we are coming together to break fasting together. And I hope this is not only between Muslims, but invite also our neighbors. It's a good opportunity to show them that fasting is a means for us to be humble, a means for us to be godly, a means for us to be better in character, means for us to build human solidarity, so that we can be brothers and sisters, we can be friends. And so we invite our neighbors. It's a good opportunity to change the minds of some non-Muslims about Islam, particularly after the math of terrorist attack, for example, anywhere, including in Orlando. It's a good opportunity to invite them to come and enjoy food and talk to them about Islam. And so Muslims must utilize every single opportunity to convey the true face of Islam. And I think one of the best momentum is during the month of Ramadan itself.
And what about can we invite them and iftar? Is there any restriction?
There is no restriction. Feeding,
or if they invite us to,
that's also a good opportunity. There's nothing wrong to fulfill the invitation of non-Muslim friends to go and break our fast, as long as we know that it's halal. Let's say our Christian friends invite us to his home and break our fast. We make sure that the meat is halal and it's not pork, or we eat seafood. And most of the non-Muslim friends understand that, and they respect the law. I was invited by Christian friends, and before I came, he called and said, what kind of food that, it's not allowed in the religion, because I wanted to prepare food, and I have to make sure that all foods are prepared are allowed in your faith. And we mentioned that these are the food that is not allowed. And he prepared food which is halal. He bought meat from halal store, and then he cooked seafood, and everything is fine, because our non-Muslim friend tend to respect our faith. And so there's nothing wrong, particularly when we initiate iftar for our non-Muslim friends. It's a good opportunity to show that we are kind people, we are nice people, we want to help, and there are still many Americans in need.
We'll take a short break. We'll come shortly. Dear viewers, you are watching Vision for Success. Stay with us. We'll come back soon. Dear viewers, welcome back. You are watching Vision for Success. Here with us, Imam Shamsi Ali. Yes, brother.
Yes, so in this holy month of Ramadan, uh, there are many things that we can do in terms of our non-Muslim friends. But I think one of the most important also is about coming back again and learn about some understanding about the verses of the Holy Quran. This is the month of the Holy Quran, of course. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. I think it's a good opportunity to ponder and reflect upon some verses of the Holy Quran that sometimes we tend to misunderstand. I'll give you some examples of the verses. There is a verse in the Holy Quran says, لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء من دون المؤمنين. And unfortunately, some Muslims, because of the limitations in their understanding, literal understanding of the verse, they tend to say that we are not allowed to be friends with Jews and Christians. And that is very dangerous, because in one hand we believe that Muslim men can marry Christians and Jews, for example, but in one hand you cannot be friends. And then when you marry a Christian or Jew, and you say, we cannot be friends, my wife, your wife, you can, it is very funny. And so we have to understand the ayah within a proper context. The meaning of لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء, do not take Jews and Christians as wali, is not friendship as we define, as we understand. It is about someone who is teaching you about your religion, someone who is telling you what to do and what to not to do in the religion. And of course, you cannot follow Christians and Jews anymore. And this is for the Muslim in Medina, because before Prophet Muhammad arrived in Medina, most of the Arabs took their religion from the Jews and Christians, because they didn't have religion. They are pagans. So Prophet Muhammad arrived in Medina. The Holy Quran says, no, it's not the time to take your religion from Christians and Jews anymore, because they became Muslim. Now you have your prophet. So it is a very clear understanding that al-wilaya, la tattakhidhu nisa awliya, is not just regular friendship. We can be friends with anybody. Prophet Muhammad was friend to the Jews and Christians in Medina. Even he borrowed money from the Jewish people. That's what Prophet Muhammad did. And so this understanding of the Holy Quran is very dangerous in terms of friendship. The next one is, there is an ayah of the Holy Quran says, لَتَجِدَنَّ أَشَدَّ النَّاسِ عَدَاوَةً لَلْيَهُودِ وَالَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا. You will find the most hateful people to you are Jews and pagans. This is also very dangerous. Why? Because in fact, it has its own context. That in the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the Jewish people, before he came to Medina, before Prophet Muhammad arrived to Medina, they used to be very privileged. They had upper in economic. They are upper in socially, upper class. So people respect them. Now when Prophet Muhammad arrived, Prophet Muhammad became the leader. So naturally there is a social issue. There is a revenge. There is an acceptance from the Jewish friends' behalf. And that's why the Holy Quran says, these people don't like you. But we cannot generalize that. Nowadays, for example, in America, there are thousands, tens of thousands of Jewish people defend the Muslims when Islamophobia is on the rise. I have a lot of rabbis friends who defend Islam when Islam is being attacked by minorities such as Donald Trump. I have a presidential candidate such as Bernie Sanders, happen to be a Jew, but he's so friendly to the Muslim community. So to say that the Jewish people hate you, that the most hateful to you, that is also a wrong interpretation. So my point is that since this is the month of Ramadan, the month of the Quran, we must come back and learn the Holy Quran properly.
And our understanding about the Quran, about the non-Muslim, even the religious leader, Imams and others, they are explaining, they are also preaching this kind of thing, that we cannot make friendship with them. We cannot offer salam and other things.
That is something that need to be revisited, need to be reread, because our understanding in the past is not necessarily in line with our understanding at the moment. For example, if you cannot be friend with them, it is very dangerous. If you have neighbors, Mark happened to be Jew, John happened to be Christian, and because you cannot be friends with them, so every morning you get up from your house not smiling to them. So they will ask you, oh Muhammad, because our name is Muhammad, I never saw you smile, what happened to you? If we are honest with the Quran we believe in, we will say, no, I cannot smile to you because our Quran says I cannot be friends with you. Can you understand your Quran in that way? Of course not. And that's why it is very embarrassing if we don't want to change the way you understand our Quran in time that we are living in a different circumstance, different environment. Now our neighbors, non-Muslims, are over. Back in Bangladesh, you have Muhammad, Omar, Ali, Usman, everywhere you go, Muslims, there's no problem. But now here you have Hindu, Buddhists, Jews, Christians, Catholic, everybody is blended together. And you want to show them, you want to show yourself to them as non-friends, it is simply you are isolating yourself. We are isolating ourselves. It means we are marginalizing ourselves. So there is no way except to come back again and rereading. It is the importance of rereading our Holy Quran, not changing the Holy Quran. Remember, don't misunderstand me. The Holy Quran, the Hadith cannot and ever cannot be changed. But your understanding of the Holy Quran and Hadith may change from time to time as long as positive according to the circumstances.
So we are facing a very challenging situation, time we are passing. So you are talking about the 9/11. That time was also a challenge.
Yes.
How we can face today's challenge based on that experience? What is your advice?
I think number one, we have to continue have self-confidence. We have to have self-confidence and hope that this is a temporary challenge. So we don't have to lose our hope. Our iman remains. Trust in Allah remains. Number two, we have to continue educating ourselves to be better human beings. Because sometimes most of the Islamophobia is caused by our own behavior, by our own mispractice of the religion. We disrespect the woman, and that's why Western people are so scared that if Islam is dominant in the West, they are going to disrespect the woman. No human right, because we don't respect the right of minorities sometimes in the Muslim lands. So I think we need to improve our own Islam, become better Muslim. Thirdly, we have to continue educating our neighbors. Interfaith dialogue is one of the best ways to do that, building trust so that they have confidence in us. They don't have to be scared. When you are coming to them, they don't have to think that they are coming to kill us. The Muslims are coming to kill us. We are coming to help them. We are coming to work with them. We are coming to be partner with them. We have to build this kind of sense of confidence. You know, because sometimes we have to put our feet into their shoes. They don't know us. And if they don't know us, they have a lot of suspicions. You know, imagine if we don't know them, we have a lot of suspicions about them as well. And that's why Muslims must do their job. And I think as we are moving forward, we are having even better situations from West, White House, down to the city councils. A lot of Muslims and many officials understand Islam through Islam itself.
Thank you, brother Shamsi, being with us. Hope the viewers will enjoy all these lessons. Thanks once again. দর্শক, সবার উপরে মানুষ সত্য, ইসলাম এই নীতিতে বিশ্বাস করে। মুহাম্মদ সাল্লাল্লাহু আলাইহি সাল্লামের আচরণে মুগ্ধ হয়ে নন মুসলিমগণ দলে দলে ইসলামে যোগ দিয়েছিলেন, গ্রহণ করেছিলেন ইসলাম। সফলতার জন্য সেই আদর্শই অপরিহার্য হচ্ছে ভিশনারি হওয়া। ভিশনের উদ্যোক্তারাই বদলে দিতে পারেন সমাজ। ভিশন, আত্মবিশ্বাস এবং ধারাবাহিক চেষ্টা এনে দিতে পারে সাফল্য। আসুন সফলতার জন্য সেভাবেই চেষ্টা করি। নতুন প্রজন্মকে ভিশনারি উদ্যোক্তা ও ইতিবাচক ভাবতে শেখাই। অনুষ্ঠান সম্পর্কে আপনার পরামর্শ মতামত লিখুন visionforsuccess@gmail.com। অনুষ্ঠানটি প্রচারিত হবে প্রতিদিন রাত 9টায়, পুনঃপ্রচার সকাল 11টা এবং দুপুর 2টা 30 মিনিটে। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।